Hello and welcome back to Gary's Classic Cars. So tonight, Monday the 7th of July, we're doing something slightly different. Last week when I dropped my cylinder head off for the Hillman Imp, I volunteered, stupidly maybe or not, to paint some wings for Andy Jones on his new Audi he's got. So I'll just turn the camera around and we can have a look at them. So these are the two front wings he's got from eBay somewhere. They're cracking wings. There's no rot on them. They're just the wrong colour, but on further inspection I notice they're full of micro blistering. So the first port of call is to clean them up. So I'm going to get my panel wipe out, give them a wipe off, get all the dust off and all the crap and everything, and then we'll assess how bad they are. And then once we know that, we know the extent of the rubbing down, but I have a feeling we'll be taking all the blue off and the lacquer and possibly some of the primer that's underneath. They're also not primed on the inside or painted, so I'll stone chip them for him with some primer and stone chip, and we'll flash a bit of body colour on when we paint the tops. So the first port of call is going to be get the old panel wipe out, get them on the floor here and give them a wipe over. Okay, so I've got my panel degreaser. This is a Churchill product, and it's basically like a neater, weaker version of cellulose thinners. Just gets all the grease and grime off. So I've put some gloves on because it doesn't have to dry your hands out. I've got some mutton cloth. I used to use this prior to everybody having microfiber cloths. And what we'll do is just wipe over the top and just get any of the residue dust off. That'll get rid of any greases. As you can see, it's coming off. Just a wipe over, make it clean so we've got a good start. And it is highlighting quite a lot of micro blistering over the panel, so that's a no-go. So we've got to get it, we're going to end up having to get it right down and get it all off, but you can see the muck that's just come off there. So we just need to, there's not even got any paint on the bottom here. Whoever's painted them before, they've flashed over them, which is not ideal. You can see the inside. We'll give that a scotch pad over and a bit of sanding paper just to rough it up before we primer it. It's important when you're doing any paint work, panels are clean, grease free, otherwise your paint won't stick and you have silicons and all sorts of traumas. Now I'm no professional painter, I just do everything in my garage at home and get a reasonable result. But you know, it's a bit of a dark art. Once you know how to paint, you tend to forget, but you get a bit rusty like anything. But you know, generally, it's not too easy to get hold of. Just take your time. That's the important thing. Take your time, and you know you can't go wrong. So these are an hard dot panel. So I don't know where he's got them from, but look like they've been stored somewhere for a while. Give them a clean off. Get some of the residue dust off. Straighten them out where they need to. We need to take that off as well before we paint it. But I'm not whether the camera will pick up. You can see, I'll see if you can get it, but you'll see what I mean with the micro blistering. See all the little blistering? So that's caused by dampness in the paint. So what's happened, you can see it all the way down. So either been painted in a damp condition, and then the water's tried, what you've done once you've painted the top coat on, that sealed it all in, and then obviously as the heat gets in, the water tries to escape and cause these little blisters called micro blistering. If you get dampness in your compressor, that's another style of micro blistering. I'm not sure what this wing's like. Yeah, this is the same. You can just see it on the arches glistening, the little dots there. So again, we're going to have to take this whole panel right now to the bare metal, or at least till we think we've got that all off. Best probably bet is to get it right down to the bare metal. Otherwise, you know, in months to come, you'll end up with micro blistering again, and then he'll be coming back. Well, he won't moan, I don't think, but I wouldn't be happy if I was doing it for someone. So you just try and do your best ability for someone if you're going to do it right. But you've got to make sure there's no muck. This is just a quick going over, because obviously once we've sanded it off, we'll give it another another wiping over, because we'll have to get all the dust off. And it is important that everywhere's nice and clean and grease free, so we can get the paint to adhere and get a good finish for him. And then we'll end up flattening and polishing it, I've no doubt, just to take some of the orange peel off from the spraying method. So what we'll do, we'll set up with the sander and get some PP on. We'll have to have a dust mask on, and we'll start sanding away. So this is my sander I've got. It's an Aruba. It's quite a decent make. It's got holes in the bottom of the base, and you can actually attach your hoover on it, so you can see where I've been sucking dust out in the past. And it's just a handle, you know, to make it more comfortable. Some out like that for you when you're working on it. It's got a speed adjuster and a button. So we'll start off with some smooth paper, probably 240s or something like that. Can't remember what that is. Most important thing, get the dust mask on, because we don't want to be inhaling any paint dust, although I've done it plenty of time in the past, but probably most people will suffer moving forward. So what we'll do, we'll just put this on a time lapse, because you don't want to be watching me sanding down for hours, because it might take a bit of time. Okay, so it's now 7:05, 6 minutes past 7. That's one wing rubbed down, so you can see it's got 99.9% of the, well, all the blues off apart from on the edge. So we're back down to original grade primer. So I've not got any etch primer, but I've got an aerosol etch primer. So what I'm going to do is aerosol this with etch primer, let it harden off overnight. If I get a chance, I might stone chip the inside. And then what we'll do, we'll 2-pack high build it tomorrow, if I get a chance, tomorrow night. Let that dry off, I can block that down, get the paint on Thursday, paint them Friday, paint and lacquer them Friday, hopefully dry enough to polish and buff Saturday, and then get them back to Andy early next week. So that's one done. On to number 2. Okay, so we've got both wings rubbed down now. It's now 25 to 8. I've cleaned up, because I don't, as anyone will know, and Andy will tell you, I always like a clean workshop, better when you're painting. I'm going to just give them a rub down on the outside with 40s, and then gone over with 150s. Got all the primer off, so there'll be no more micro blistering. Give them a quick scotch over on the inside. I'm going to just use this Tetrasil grey primer I've got here. I don't like using aerosol stuff, but for the inside of the wings, there's a quick coat over that grey or black primer that they put on. Then when I stone chip it, at least it's got a bit of extra coverage on it, and then we'll flash it over with a bit of blue paint afterwards. Outside, I'm going to use this U-Pol spray. It's etch primer. Again, I don't have any etch primer. I'm not a lover of aerosols, but if I spray it on tonight and leave it overnight, by tomorrow it'll be ready for a quick flat off, and then I'll put some 2-pack primer on it in grey high build, and then we'll just let that dry off, and we're ready then for a block and the paint when I get the paint. Okay, so welcome back. So we've now primered with the etch primer. I've given a quick scotch off with 150s. So we're all ready to go with the 2-pack high build primer. And just on the back of the wings, I've stone chipped them, both of them, so it'll give them a bit of protection rather than absolutely nothing what they had. So the next stop is, so I've just mixed in my paint. I'm going to flash over a couple of light coats initially, and then a heavy coat on each wing, and then let them harden off. It's a lovely night, so the sun beating through the garage window. As you can see, it's nice and bright, so that'll bake it on really, really well. So we'll do a video once we've just put the first coat on. Okay, so that's the 2 coats on of iBuild primer. Now there is a very small dent in this wing here, but I'm afraid, Andy, you're going to have to live with that. So now I need to harden them off, so I'll leave them for a couple of days. This is in-club meeting tomorrow night. So we won't be doing anything tomorrow night, so that's Wednesday night. So I'll have Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday day. Come in here then, we'll block them down. If I'm at home Thursday, which I might well be, I can nip out to the paint shop, go and get some of his colour code. Block these down, might even throw a bit of colour on them and lacquer on Thursday night, if not it's a Friday night job. Then I can polish them over the weekend and take them back out the way. And hopefully I can finish my imp off as well, because I've put that on standby, because I need to get these done for Andy, because they're in my way. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll revert back when we're ready for putting some colour on. Okay, so here's where we are now. We're all ready for the top coat on Andy's wings. So I've put this protective sheeting on the floor. I've learnt by my lessons with the Fiesta, having when you lacquer, it becomes all sticky. So I've got my bit of cardboard on the floor to walk on. So I'm just going to mix the paint up, and I'm going to get some colour on these. Let it harden off for a bit, and then hopefully get them lacquered tonight. It's a lovely night, and then I can crack back on with my Hillman imp once I've got these out the way. The only downside is he's got a blooming bumper for me to do now, so that's more work, but hey ho, you take these jobs on. But we'll get his wings done tonight, get rid of them this weekend hopefully. So we've got our first coat on, and it's covered very well. It's still a little bit wet, but there's a very shallow dent there I didn't notice, but anyway, they'll be what they'll be. Ready for the second coat in a couple of minutes, and then we'll get some lacquer on. And there's a little dent there as well, which I knew about, but I'm no filler, so I wasn't filling it in. So it'll be better than what he had, which were bright blue and all rusty. So I'm sure Andy will be happy. Okay, so we're now painted, Andy. You probably need a flatten the polish because there's a little bit of dust in them. But considering what you had, it's not too bad. Oh, a little bit of a reaction there at the top. I don't know what's happened there, a bit of muck. Don't know why, because it was perfect before. But anyway, we'll flatten the polish, we'll get them better. Well, hello again. This wing debacle goes on. So I did the wings, and then I had a massive reaction on them, on the wheel arches, where the lacquer for some reason had melted the base coat. So I decided, you know what, I'm not happy. I've left them a few days, and I've just flattened them off with some 1500s, and I've given them a quick base coat, and just around here was horrendous. Down here was all horrendous, and it all appears to be really good now. So I'm a lot happier. I'm just going to let them air off. Same with this wing, all the way down here was a mess, all the way over here. So I'm just going to let these air off, and then I'm going to give them a quick flash over with lacquer after my tea. Hopefully that'll get a nice gun finish, and he can have them back, swap them for his bumper, or flash his bumper over, and then he's done out my way. But what a nightmare. Lesson learned, never offer to do any paintwork for anybody else again, because it ain't worth it. I have spent, must be 2 days on these wings, rubbing them, priming them, blocking them, painting them, lacquering them, flattening them, buffing, then redoing it all over again because I'm not happy. But Andy, I hope you're happy this time. Well, I'm sure you will be happy last time, but I wasn't happy. So quick flash over tonight with the lacquer, and then jobs are good. And okay, so success at last. Look at that. Beautiful. Little bit of dust in it, but I'm painting in the garage with the door open, so you know he's going to have to live with that. But oh my God, what a difference. They'll look mint on his car with a bit of a flatten polish when they've hardened off properly. So thank goodness we're finished with the 2 wings. Oh, not bad really. I say there's a bit of dust in it, but it only wants a light flat, and I will do that for him once he's ready. But long last, finally done, so I can get rid of these blooming wings tomorrow. Hopefully they'll come and pick them up, and then happy days, apart from I've got the bumper to do, but that shouldn't, in theory, take too long. Now what I'll do is just flash over it dead quick with the colour, gets rid of any stripiness, and yeah, all done. So that's it for now. The important thing is try and do it in a clean space. This is not the best place for painting cars. I did make a booth when I did my Fiesta. If you check out my XR2 rebuild, I filled the whole garage with this plastic sheeting, made myself a booth, so I didn't have any dust or anything, so it really turned out well. But anyway, considering I've done it in a garage, I'm really, really happy, and I've got no sags, which is even better, or runs for anybody else. But great stuff. See you next time. Try for now. Okay, so Andy's now collected his wings, and he's dropped me kindly this superb looking bumper with a few scratches on it, some there, all across here, right around the side. Oh my god, this just gets worse. Anyway, we're going to give it a quick DA off, or sander off, and we will then put some filler in it just to fill the scratches and let it harden off, and then we'll rub it down and primer it, scotch pad it off where we need to, and get some colour on it hopefully tonight with a bit of luck, and then we can lacquer it, and then you can go back to him over the weekend or Sunday if he wants. It's out of my hair. So first job, get the sander out and let's get it sanded down. Okay, so we've given it a quick sand off, and it's not actually that bad. A lot of them were just surface scratches. A lot of these have gone, so we're not too bad with them. Just a little bit more there need to sand off, but generally they're very, very faint. So worst bits here, this is a bit of a groove here and here, but it's something nothing really. It won't take 5 minutes to fill in that. So next job, we'll mix the filler. So this is the filler I use. It's U-Pol Smooth Easy 7. It's just it sands down really nice once you've got a mix on it. So let's open the can, and there it is. See, it's broke down a bit because I've not used it for that long, so I'll give it a stir. But you basically put a small amount of hardener, which is this stuff, in with your filler once you've mixed it on your board, and get it a nice little pink colour. This goes pink because the hardener's red, and not too much, but enough to make it go off. And then the more you put in, obviously it goes off quicker, so you've got less time to work with it. But it's quite easy to mix. So we'll just get some out, and then we'll do a bit of a mix if we can with one hand. So I've got my filler there, and I've put my hardener with it, and we just basically mix this in, mix it all in together, and it makes it go a different colour. So we'll just resume back when I've mixed it in. Okay, so as you can see now, it's a different colour. It's just slightly off yellow because it's a bit pinker because it's got the thing. So I've got to move sharpish and put it on the car now. Okay, so actually, it isn't actually that bad. It's quite a real good bumper, just a few light scratches. So I'll give it a very, very light skimming where it needs to. We'll block that off after when it's cured later on, but I've got a bit of filler left. There's more of it's a bit underneath, obviously, where it's been a bit low at the front. I know it's not seen, but we're still going to make it look something like, aren't we, for him, for his Audi. But the worst bit was this little corner here, but a lot of it polished out. Like I say, it was just surface scratching in the lacquer and the paint. So fingers crossed, we'll get that rubbed down later. An I-build primer, and then a block off, and it'll be as good as new, and we'll try and get some colour on it as well. So we'll resume after when we're blocking down. Okay, so it's that time, finished work now. It's time to start rubbing this bumper down. I'm going to do it by hand, maybe a bit with the sander. So we're going to put it on time lapse, I think, because it might be just a bit laborious you watching me rub down for hours. But just do a quick one on time lapse anyway. Okay, so we're now all filled, rubbed down. I've had to do a little bit more filling just on here. It wasn't quite right. There's still a little lump there, but we'll have to live with that. But we've got it all sanded down with 150s and some 240s. So we're going to now, excuse me, I've just missed a bit there. I'm going to rub a little bit down there. We're going to blow it off, wipe it off with some panel wipe, and get some primer on it, and then we can let it harden off while I have my tea, block it down after. Bit of luck, might get some colour on it tonight. So we'll catch up shortly. Okay, so we're just getting the primer ready. Now this is a 4-to-1 mix, so 4 parts paint, 1 part hardener, and then a splash of thinners just to thin it down. Now the trouble with primer, if you've ever already bought it, it always congregates at the bottom and goes dead fluidy at the top, so you have to give it a real good stir to get it all mixed, and it can take up to 5 to 10 minutes to make sure you've got it all flowing nicely. But it's important you mix all the paint together, otherwise you don't get the same effect for the filler section of it. But give it a good stir. It was like treacle at the bottom and it was like water at the top when we first started, but got a nice consistency now. Look at that, beautiful. So what we're going to do is our mixing pot, and they have scales on, so I'm going to put 100ml in, 25ml of hardener, and we'll see what thickness it is like that. Let's pour it out till we get to 100ml, thereabouts. Right, now there's going to be the spillage down the side, so just mop that up. Right, just put the lid on that to stop any dust going in. And then we've got our hardener. Oh, this is a fancy cap. It's child-proof by the looks of it, so that's no good for me. Right, there we go. Flip the little thing out. So we're at 100, so we want to be roughly about 125-ish. Which will be about there. It's a little bit higher because of the stirring sticking, of course. But, we'll give it a good old stir and see what it's like. This should be just enough to give a couple of coats on the bumper. I tend to mix too much paint and then end up throwing half of it away, so better to have to do one coat and then run a bit short. Don't think you've got enough for the next, so mix a little bit more. Now that's quite a tip I was given, is if you put it on the side of the pot and it runs down nicely, it's just a nice mix. And that's a little bit slow for my liking. So what we're going to do is scrape all the paint off the side of the stick, get that in the bottom. We'll put a dab of thinners in, just to, and you only need a dab on this because it does thin quite quickly. Oh, that's probably a bit too much, that. I knew I should have stopped at the first one. But anyway, we are where we are. Let's give it a stir. If it's too thin, we'll put a bit more paint in. So, yeah, we'll give it a good stir there now. Make sure it's all mixed together. And actually it's running just nice, that, if you look there, if you can see it. Not too thick, not too thin, so it should go through the gun all right. Okay, we'll fill the gun up now. Okay, so we're all set. We're just about 3 bar pressure. I'm going to put my dust mask on because my paint mask is broken, so I'm going to have to buy another one tomorrow. But I've got the doors open, so a quick flash over and I can get out before I get intoxicated. Right, and we'll start on the edges. first coat done. It's drying quite quickly because the sun's beaming through the door, as you can see. So I'm just going to mix a bit more paint, let it air off a bit. It's clearing the garage lovely, so it's great. And then we'll give it a second coat. There, Andy, bumper and primer, first coat. Looking pretty good. It was quite good, mate, to be honest. Them repairs have come out all right there. So we'll get another coat on and maybe get some colour on it tonight if it's hard enough to flat off after tea. There you go. Okay, right, so it's gone absolutely beautiful. Look at that, mint. Smooth as a baby's bum. All dried off. So we're going to throw some paint on it, get it base coated and lacquered tonight, and then happy days. I can't believe it. It's such a dream compared to the wings. I can't even be bothered doing my own bumper on my Merc, but this is giving me some encouragement, so I might do it because mine just wants painting because of stone chips. But yeah, it's gone on lovely. So hopefully Andy will be very happy with this one. It'll be even better than his wings if we don't get any dust in it. Right, we're going to mix the paint. So the paint's here. Is a aqua blue metallic, and it's a 50-50 mix on the base coat. And then we've got the lacquer down there somewhere under that cloth, which is a 2-to-1 mix with base coat and activator. This colour you just put black thinners in because the base just dries naturally. So we're going to mix the paint and get some on. Okay, so we got the first coat on. I've had a bit of a nightmare with it, but my spray gun decided it wouldn't let any air through, so stripped it down. Can't see anything wrong with it, still not having it, so I've transferred to my second spray gun and it's working a treat, so I've binned that one. I'll have to buy another one if we ever do any more painting, but it's really weird because it was working a treat the other night when I lacquered it. But anyway, look at this, bit of colour on it there. First coat, we'll just let that flash off, and then we'll put a second coat on, and then we'll nip out. I'm going to nip out down to Ashton to drop some stuff off for a friend, and then come back and put the lacquer on, give it plenty of time to dry off. So we'll catch up in a minute. Okay, so we're all done. Lovely colour, no dust in it. So we're going to throw some lacquer on it now. See how we get on. Bit of luck, it'll be nice and shiny. You can come and pick it up over the weekend. Right, here we go. Well, what a finish. Look at that. All done. Gleaming. Fingers crossed it'll stay just nice like that, not dull. There's a little bit of dust in it, but not a great deal. But considering what it was like earlier on, it's amazing. I'm very happy. I wish the wings had been as easy as the bumper was, but I'm sure Andy will be over the moon with that. So it's all about getting the mix right. You've got to get your mix right. Conditions are not perfect in here, but considering I'm in the garage with carpets and dust blowing through the doors, I get a reasonable job, as hopefully you'll see with the Fiesta and whatever. But I did make a booth, but I'm sure Andy will be over the moon with that. So he can come and collect that on Sunday, hopefully, and get it out of my way, and everybody will be happy. You can get it on the road. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my bit of paint work. Traumatic as it's been, it's all come out for the best, so I'm really happy. And I'm sure, like I say, Andy will be happy. So that's the most important thing, keeping people happy in it. And it's only a bit of my time, which I don't mind giving to folk, because I'll get it back in other ways. They'll help me out in the future, I hope. So anyway, that's it for now. See you next time. Goodbye.